What is going on, guys? It's Modded Warfare here. Welcome back to another video on the 7.02 jailbreak for the PS4. So this video is going to be me going through some tests that I've ran to give you guys some information about the stability of this exploit. Now, first of all, before we get into it, please bear in mind that every PS4 is different when it comes to running exploits. Some have more success than others. Certain PS4s have a lot more problems than others. I'm using a PS4 Pro. It's one of the older model PS4 Pros. I don't know the exact model number right now, but it's one of the older PS4 Pros. And as you can see here, I am on 7.02. So yeah, first of all, with the stability of this exploit, it's kind of an interesting one because in a way it's better and in a way it's worse than 6.72. So first of all, as you can see, I was on 7.02 and I'm able to run PS4 Explorer. So I have Hen running right here. It works perfectly fine. No issues that I've found so far. Nothing, any major issues. I did have one crash that happened after I ran the exploit, which was the first time I ever ran the exploit. It looked like it ran Hen, everything went fine, but when I went to install a package file, the whole console just crashed randomly. But that's only happened once so far. Apart from that, all the other times I've loaded the exploit, it has been successful, completely successful, and without a single crash. And that is where it kind of gets into the kind of interesting part of this. So I'm just going to reboot this PS4 here. So yeah, so looking at some of the tests I've ran, the first time I ran the exploit, it took about 1 minute and 20 seconds to load the exploit. So this is the kind of thing where it's like, you know, do you find it better than 6.72? It really depends on how you look at it, because in a way it's more stable than 6.72 because you're not getting any crashes. At least I have only had that one crash that happened after I had loaded the exploit. But when I'm actually loading the exploit, I haven't ran into any crashes yet, which is kind of strange. But it does take longer to load the exploit. So it really depends on the way that you look at it, because when you run the 6.72 exploit, when it works, it loads pretty fast. It only takes about 10 seconds or so and the exploit's loaded. But when it doesn't work and when it crashes, which does happen fairly often on 6.72, then you obviously, when you reboot, it has to go into that kind of safe mode check that it does, which takes over a minute, I would say. It takes probably a couple of minutes or so, maybe a minute and a half. And then it boots you back into the OS so that you can try again. However, with 7.02, it may take longer. Like the first time I loaded it was the fastest it ever loaded, which was about 1 minute and 20 seconds for it to actually load the exploit. But, you know, it doesn't crash. So if it doesn't load, you just try again. The thing that you get are out of memory errors. So when I loaded it the second time, the first time it only did out of memory errors 3 times. So an out of memory will pop up on the browser. But that doesn't mean you have to restart. You just click OK, and then it tries it again. And then if it gives you another out-of-memory error, you just click OK. You keep clicking OK to all the out-of-memory errors that pop up, and it just keeps reloading the page and trying again, and eventually it will get it. So instead of crashing, you're just getting out-of-memory errors in the browser, which is much better because then you just click OK and it tries again rather than crashing and having to go into safe mode and loading it up again. So yeah, the first time it loaded in 1 minute and 20 seconds, only 3 out-of-memory errors in the browser. And every other time after that, it's taken about 9 out-of-memory errors, and it's taken about 1 minute 30 or 1 minute 40 to get the exploit loaded. So here's a test right now. So if I load up the browser, and what we'll do is we'll clear cookies and website data and all of that kind of stuff right now. Clear cookies, clear website data. So we've got a clean browser basically. Okay, so if we load up this exploit host, this is the one that I've had the most success with. So if we run 7.02 homebrew enabler, so you'll see what I mean here. So it starts running, and we'll see if this is one of the longer ones. So there's one out of memory error to begin with. Like I say, for me, it's taken 9 or more in a lot of cases to actually load. There's the second one. So this happens quite a lot. This PS4 that I'm using, this PS4 Pro, actually doesn't have the best success with loading exploits. It used to be on 5.05, and I actually had a lot of crashes on 5.05, and that's known as a pretty stable exploit. Oh wow, that's actually quite fast. Normally it would take longer than that. So that was only, what, 2 out of memory errors? We'll probably still get a couple more here potentially. before it actually loads the exploit. So yeah, there we go. Actually, maybe not. Wow, this actually might be my fastest load yet. Yeah, there you go, it's done. So it says close the web page, and then I just hit the middle button to close it. And there we go, hen is running. Let's try running Minecraft here. And it's working. So yeah, that was actually the fastest load that I've ever had with the jailbreak right there. So that was probably, haven't actually timed that one, but I'm guessing that was less than a minute 20 to get that loaded right there. So yeah, as you can see, it actually does load pretty well because we're not running into any crashes so far. And if we have a look here, we have the debug settings. Go into the settings, scroll down. Debug settings are now enabled. So it also seems to be quite dependent on which exploit host you use. This one's been very successful for me. If you have a look here, you can give this one a try. hakkurifu.github.io/PS4 exploit. You can give this one a try. This has been very successful for me. But this other one that I have tried recently, this one over here. So this is devchrono.github.io/chrono_dreambox-7.02. Bit of a long link there to type in, but yeah, this one I have had no success with whatsoever. Every single time I try and run auto hen, no success. And if I try and run hen from the payloads in here, then nothing happens. It just says please wait, but it's saying please wait forever and nothing seems to happen. But that doesn't mean that this is a bad exploit host potentially. It could just be my PS4. Again, different web hosts might, load the exploit slightly differently, and that might work better for some PS4s, but not other PS4s. So you really need to try a mix of different ones to see which ones work best for you. This one I've had success every single time. Every single time I've tried to load this, it has worked. It's just those out of memory errors in the browser, but you just click OK every single time it comes up. Even if it takes 10 or 15 out of memory errors, eventually it will load. So yeah, so I'm going to be kind of interested to see what other people think of this exploit here, because again, like I say, with 6.72, it loads a lot faster, but when it crashes, it's a real pain because it goes into safe mode and then you have to, reboot and wait. And then when you finally get back on the browser to try it again, it's like a minute and a half, 2 minutes later that it takes to actually get back on to give it another try. Whereas with this one, because it's not crashing, yeah, it takes a minute 20, a minute 40 to actually load the exploit. Well, at least for me on my PS4, this PS4 Pro, other PS4s might have better luck, might load them faster. But for me, it takes about, generally every single time, it takes over a minute to actually load the exploit. But you're not getting any crashes, so you're not having to go through that safe mode reboot crap that you have to do on 6.72. So yeah, pretty interesting. Now, I will be doing a full tutorial on this eventually, doing the same thing I did with 6.72, but that won't be out for a while because, I'm waiting for the other exploit hosts to get updated. Some of the more popular ones like Lethals and Alazivs, although there's reasons why those will be delayed for a while. So it will be a while before I get that whole series up and running again, this time for 7.02. But hopefully this video can hold you guys over in the meantime, because you can head on to one of these exploit hosts. And of course, there'll be other ones popping up in the coming days as well that you can try to, load all of the payloads that are all on here for 7.02. And you can access hen and get the exploit up and running on your PS4. Totally up to you on whether, in terms of the conclusion for this video, should you update from 6.72 to 7.02? I really can't say at this point. It really depends on what you think is better. Do you think taking a minute or more to load the exploit on 7.02, but without any crashes for the most part, do you think that's better? Or do you think the 6.72 exploit where, yeah, you get crashes now and again, but when it actually works, it only takes a few seconds to load? Do you think that's better? It really depends on your perspective on this. So I can't really draw a proper conclusion from that. So yeah, it's totally up to you at the end of the day, but at least you've seen it here so you can make your mind up for yourself. So hope you guys enjoyed the video or found the information useful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one.